Alright, hello everyone, my name is Ryan, and I'm here to address the workability argument of funding. Our advocates here is talking about how it is so expensive to fund our space exploration programs, and even talking about diverting the funds to other criteria such as school funding or domestic issues like what Henry said. Now, I would present my first point that diverting funds of NASA will not be as effective as you would predict, and because ever since 1958, NASA funding only allocates an average of 0.5% of the U.S. federal budget annually, like what my partner here said. And according to Office of Management and Budget, the White House, when measured in real terms and adjusted for inflation, the NASA's budget expenditure figure is $790 billion, or an average of $15.8 billion per year over its 50-year history. Now, what does this figure mean? It's $15.8 billion. The research areas are US NSF. NASA's fiscal year of 2011 budget of $18.4 billion represented about 0.5% of the overall $3.4 trillion of the United States federal budget during that year, which agrees to an average of 0.5% expenditure. Moreover, there might be some, sorry about that. So this data came from 2011, which you might argue that it's not recent enough, or it might not be as accurate. So I got the data of the actual expenditure from the fiscal year of 2015 from federal spending, and from the article titled "Where Does the Money Go?" Showing the breakdown of $3.8 trillion of the overall federal budget, and the percentages of where it goes through. And since we're talking about diverting funds into domestic issues right here, now we'll just read the figures out loud. 33.26%, or $1.28 trillion, allocates to Social Security, unemployment and labor. 27.42%, or $1.05 trillion, allocates to Medicare and health. And the last thing is 0.78%, or $29.81 billion, allocates to science, or NASA. Now, when we're comparing these figures, it turns out that the funding for space program is not even comparable to those used for domestic issues. All right, second point, space exploration is a large number of spin-offs that have resulted from research done during space exploration missions. Some examples of these include stretch-resistant lenses, invisible braces, shoe insoles, memory foam, various applications in long-distance communication, high-tech material that are widely used in automobiles, and etc. In conclusion, this would have been difficult to obtain had it not been for the huge budgets allocated for space exploration missions. Now, moving on to the disadvantages of the accommodating missions or funding for space exploration missions. Now, space exploration missions is useful to reveal phenomena outside of the universe because, as we know, what's happening outside there directly affects our planet here, such as meteorites, solar flares, or predicting climate change or weather change. And it is important to understand the fact that the environment outside the planet is crucial for us to be studied in order for us to know a little bit in depth more about our planet and preserving our nature. The accommodating space exploration would not make this possible. Second disadvantage that I would present is completely voiding funding for space exploration program would void the chance of finding other energy sources or food resources that might be available out there. And the third one is erasing job opportunity. Now let me elaborate more in erasing job opportunity. Why? Alright, one real example is taken from an article titled "Bringing Benefits of Space Exploration Down to Earth" by Stanford Review. The NetGain technology in Illinois developed a retrofit system with NASA for converting gas-powered vehicles to gas to electric hybrids. The system resulted in a new line of electric motors that now supports over 100 jobs at NetGain's manufacturing facility. Moreover, my partner Saul here that talked about the Mars exploration in 2012, and according to NASA Administrator Charles Bolden, that is responsible for the program, stated that it's also important to remember that the $2.5 billion that was invested in that project was not spent on Mars alone, but right here on Earth, supporting more than 7,000 jobs in at least 31 states. And some of the fact that I would convey before I close my argument here. The TARI groups, I got this from a study that I got from a website of Universe Today, that says that states an analysis indicating or estimating jobs for the fiscal year of 2012, and it did indicate a peak of 14,200 direct jobs in that year. And so I will conclude my workability argument and disadvantage argument right there.